the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
For the first hit. Rutschman into right field. Down the line. A fair ball. Adley will turn first. Head for second. He's going to turn second. Go for third. Rutschman into third base standing. An extra base hit. His first hit in the major leagues. Welcome to the...
These are long pitch innings, I think. Blister, that's what you wanted to make sure.
Here's a high fly ball into right. Back is Betts on the move. On the track. He's got catch by Mookie Betts.
Now, Clifford looking for a clean inning here in the seventh.
Hit well out to right center field. Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he makes it.
To be on the ballpark. As always, I'm your host, Patrick Moran, and today we're going to be trying to predict some all-star lineups come mid-season. This is a very interesting challenge here brought to us by Brendan. This was his idea to try and make all-star game lineups and see what they could look like come the Midsummer Classic. We just did starting 9. We didn't do full rosters, but we did our best, and opening day is here. The baseball season has started. Opening series are out of the way for, I think, every team. So, Brendan, how you doing? And also, we had Easter, so happy Easter as well.
Yeah, it was happy Easter. Excited. Baseball's back. First series done. Moves on to the second series. The Red Sox and Orioles are playing good right now, which is surprising.
Mm-hmm. Well, surprising for the Red Sox, not really surprising for us.
Okay. Still good.
Both teams are good.
It's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's good to have baseball back, and we're locked and loaded. So, I think without further ado, let's get into it. Like I said, it's just the starting lineups, no full rosters. We went through every position and starting pitcher as well as DH. So we made our list individually, and we'll see how well we matched up in total. So we'll go to the American League because, as you said before we started making these lists off the air, it's the better league. For catcher, I had Adley Rutschman of the Baltimore Orioles. Adley Rutschman is just a complete player. He's everything you would want in a catcher, personally. I love him to death, and he's amazing. Everything, pretty much. And, he's our Lord and Savior in Baltimore. So what else can I say from that standpoint?
I did go with Ali here. I just kind of feel like the bar is a little low right now. He just kind of seemed like the best guy. But he's a good player. It's whatever.
Okay. All right. And also, should have started last year's All-Star game, but unfortunately got a little snubbed. John Heim. Anyway, I'll never forget that. First base, I kind of went with a bold prediction here. He's kind of one of my two. I went with Spencer Torkelson of the Detroit Tigers. Obviously I had the Tigers doing some things and making some noise in the AL Central preseason. And, Spencer Torkelson, he's got the crazy power. He's a former number 1 overall pick, just like Rutschman. In fact, the year after Rutschman, he was the number 1 overall pick. Torkelson, he's still able to hit a lot of home runs, even in Detroit. And because the Detroit Tigers are looking like they're a better team this year, I think the winning environment's going to be good for him. And I think he could pop off. I think we could see a lot of power from him. And obviously home runs are they're a big factor in today's game. So that was kind of my first bold prediction of the episode.
I kind of a little safer option here. I went with Vladdy. I think
Mhm.
it is Vladdy. Kind of building an estimation. He's one of the best first basemen in the American League. I think he can get it done. He's done it before to do it again this year.
That's definitely a good point. I definitely thought about Vladdy. Second base. This is probably my boldest one out of all of them, or probably throughout this entire list. I went Zach Geloff of the Oakland A's being their probably lone representative. Geloff is a great player. I think he's got a lot of potential for Oakland, soon to be Vegas. He showed a lot of good things when he got called up last season. He got plenty of run at second, and he's going to be playing second every day because there's virtually nobody in his way currently to playing time. Zach Geloff's good talent, and we just seen him be a really good ball player. We saw it last year, like I mentioned, and I think he could continue that trend this year and eventually play his way into an all-star game appearance at second base, most likely, like I said, being the lone representative of the A's.
So I also kind of want to say I picked Jose Altuve. I feel like he's done it every year. He's always the guy. Can't go wrong with Jose Altuve. I think he's still good. So I'm picked him.
Absolutely. At shortstop, I went with the man Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar looks amazing. He's been off to a great start this year. Obviously, Gunnar won Rookie of the Year unanimously last year, and he did that with being cold for kind of the beginning of the year. Really turned it on in June, and Gunnar Henderson is a superstar type of player and a type of talent. He's got the really good glove at shortstop, and he can obviously mash lefty. He's got that sweet left-handed swing. I think the sky's the limit for Gunnar Henderson, and I think he's only going to improve on his season last year. So I did go with Gunnar and shortstop.
At shortstop, I went with my MVP was in the AL. I have Corey Seager. It's Corey Seager. I had to pick him because he's my MVP. So he's got to make the All-Star. Even though we've seen MVPs don't make the All-Star game. But I feel like he's just going to be unreal this season. He's at the peak of his powers right now. He is a starter all the way.
I would have had Corey Seager, but I did account for the Corey Seager injury, so that's what kind of steered me clear of Seager. At third base, I did go with a safer option. I went with Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. J-Ram is just, he's so good every single season. He's one of the more underrated players in the game, not the most underrated player in the game. He is just one of the best players in the game, period. He can do it all for the Guardians. He can run a little bit, play third base at a really good level, and obviously can hit from both sides of the plate. The Guardians really need that offensive thump in the lineup, and he's been that guy for a while. So Jose or J-Ram, could have gone Devers, but J-Ram's the more complete player in my opinion.
I feel like you could have gone Devers, and you should have gone Devers. That's what I went with. I thought about J-Ram, and I just realized Raffy's just too good. The hitting, it just makes up for everything that J-Ram does. Raffy's just an unbelievable hitter, unbelievable player. He's going to be starting this year at third base.
Okay. That's kind of honestly been the top two guys in the past few years. Next up, we have the outfield. We'll kind of do a rapid fire. I went with Julio Rodriguez, Juan Soto, and Luis Robert. J-Rod's an amazing talent. He can go get it in center, can mash the plate. He's that star that the Mariners signed up for. Juan Soto is just, he looks like he was made to play in the pinstripes. He's going to feast on the short right field porch at Yankee Stadium. He's got the elite eye. He's the exact player the Yankees needed to pick up. And then Luis Robert, I did go Luis Robert. Luis Robert, I think, is just another great talent. He's super athletic. He can go get it in center, and he's another guy that can mash. He's just kind of a stronger looking version of Julio Rodriguez, in my opinion. So those are my three guys in the outfield.
We did match up on two of these. I went with Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, and Mike Trout. Kind of the same points with Juan Soto and Julio, but then Mike Trout, I thought he's gonna be Mike Trout this season. He's gonna play good. Probably not good enough to be a starter, but people always vote for him. It happens every year. Fans, they always respect Mike Trout, and I kind of like it. So I had to pick him. You can't go wrong. He's Mike Trout. I'm gonna vote for him probably. It doesn't matter what he does. So yeah, he's definitely a starter.
I totally agree with that. That's not wrong. I just went with Luis Robert because it's kind of a fun pick, but Mike Trout is obviously amazing. I'll probably vote for him too, honestly. Mike Trout, he's Mike Trout. And then my DH, I'll go DH. I went with Jordan Alvarez. Now that Shohei Ohtani is gone from the American League, it's really Jordan's position to lose. I think Jordan is just incredible at the plate. He can play a little bit of left field ish, not great out there, but it is what it is, and can do it when needed. But you really care about the bat. He is possibly one of the most feared hitters in the game. He's such a problem to face. He is just so good. He is an absolute masher, and for Jordan, it really is all about the bat, and he is one of the best bats in the game, I think. So that's my DH, clear cut.
I also went Jordan. I mean, like you said, no Shohei. I feel like there's really the competition. It's Jordan. He just mashes. Doesn't matter who does in the field when you hit 40 home runs a year. So yeah, it's Jordan. He hits balls really far and really fast.
That's something that he does. NL now. We'll move on to the NL. For catcher, I went with kind of a bold one, but not as much as some of my other picks. I went with William Contreras of the Milwaukee Brewers. The dude put up a 5.5 win season almost last year. And, he's great. I think he's a really good player for the Brewers. And we're able to snag him in the, I believe, Sean Murphy deal, if I'm not mistaken. He really improved on the defense. And, he could always hit. And he got the opportunity he needed, I think, last year in Milwaukee. And he showed what he needed to. And he's, I think, one of the top 10 catcher of the game, probably top 5. I just think that he's really good at everything he does. And, it was a great pickup for the Brewers to make. So I went with him at catcher.
For catcher, I decided to go with maybe a bold pick. I went with Gabriel Moreno of the Diamondbacks. I just think this competition's kind of up in the air. Will Smith could get it, but I think that the catcher position kind of year to year is always just a random guy. And I think it's going to be him. He's on a good team, and I think it's going to make him play good. So, yeah. I mean, he started off good this season, so he's going to continue.
Yeah, that could definitely happen. First base, I think we matched up on this guy. I went with Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is, he's insane. Freddie Freeman is amazing. He's a Gold Glove caliber first baseman. He rips doubles like it's nobody's business. And he's even got a little bit of speed in there too, and at like a 33, 34-year-old pace. So, Freddie Freeman can really do it all. He's quite the player, and I think he's got a lot of good competition in the National League, but I think at the end of the day, you really can't go wrong with anything in Freddie Freeman's game.
I mean, yeah. I'll pick Freddie Freeman. He's Freddie Freeman. He's good every year. I feel like he's never had a down year. Can't go wrong, like you said. Yeah, next one.
All right. So at second base, I had Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think Ketel Marte is a great player. He's shown that as long as he can stay healthy, he is one of the best second basemen in the game. He really did show that last year when he was healthy and he had that great playoff run. He finally looks comfortable. He finally looks good on a good Diamondbacks team that I definitely think can make some noise in the National League. Ketel Marte is a great player. He's really good at switch hitting second baseman. I kind of picture him as kind of like a poor man's Jose Ramirez at second. So Ketel Marte, I think, is a really solid player here at second.
I thought of Del Marte. I think I'm gonna pick the other guy that he's probably gonna be rivaling against for this spot. I went with Ozzy Albies. I feel like the Braves are gonna get some All-Stars. He's gonna be one of them. Looks really good to start the year so far, and I don't see it stopping. I mean, the guy's unreal. And it's gonna be him or Ketel probably. So I'm picking Ozzy.
I respect that. That's a good thing. I didn't think about Ozzy Albies. Shortstop now. I'm pretty much gonna leave the floor to you because this is your guy. Mookie Betts of the LA Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should have the first word before I add anything else.
It's Mookie. It's Mookie, and I think it's Mookie. So that's kind of why he's going to be the starter. It's just a 5-2 player. I mean, we thought he was only an outfielder. We thought he played second base, but no, he's just going to throw them out at shortstop, and he's still just going to be unreal. I mean, what doesn't the guy do? He hits for contact, hits for power. I mean, the MVP season, and I think this is it. Number 2, and he's going to start All-Star Game MVP too. That's my prediction.
Wow, you got your boy Mookie and checking all the boxes this year. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty insane how he went from being a Gold Glove right fielder to playing a lot of second last year for the Dodgers, and then being named shortstop for the Dodgers. I mean, it kind of feels like, what can't Mookie do? He's a fantastic player, and it's just like Brendan said, he's Mookie Betts. I mean, he can answer the bell in almost every category. So, gotta go with Mookie Betts, shortstop. At third base now, I went with Manny Machado. I think you could consider Nolan Arenado, but Nolan Arenado kind of showed a little bit of age last year, although I still think he's going to have a great year. But Manny Machado, I think, is due for a bounce back. I think Machado's a great player. He's Gold Glove caliber third baseman, as well as he can match the plate. I just remember another guy that I forgot or that I probably should have written down, but Machado is kind of the safety blanket, I think. So, yeah.
So kind of going along with my hot take this season, the thing that I'm kind of riding on, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I picked kind of a bold pick. I went Ke'Bryan Hayes as a starting third baseman. So far what I've seen this season at the recordings episode, the Pirates are 5-0. This guy's playing unreal, and I win division, so he's gonna play good this season. Just wait, and he's not the only Pirate on this list too. They're nice teammates.
Okay, we'll probably see that down the line here. Yeah, Ke'Bryan can, he's always been a guy that hits the ball hard, but got to hit it in the air a little more to be more successful. And, that adjustment could come. And obviously he's got the platinum glove at third base type potential. So, that's a really bold pick, but I like it. I probably should have put down Austin Riley, but, I'll shout him out. Shout out Austin Riley. That dude's a beast. And, he's another Brave that's just locked up forever. So, Austin Riley, what's not to love about Austin Riley? He's great at third. So, yeah, shout out to Austin Riley. In the outfield, I went with Ronald Acuna Jr. and I went with Corbin Carroll, who I believe are 2 repeats from last year. But my third guy, I went a little bold. I went Mike Harris. So 2 Braves outfielders and Diamondbacks outfielder. Acuna, we all know about Acuna, 40-70 last year in an MVP season. Ronald Acuna is insane. He can pretty much do it all, kind of except field. Not the best right fielder, but Corbin Carroll is awesome. And, for the Diamondbacks, he went 2050 last year, I believe. Corbin Carroll is the star the Diamondbacks love and needed. I think he's a great player out in Arizona. And then Mike Harris. I really like Mike Harris overall as a player. He plays a great center field. Can hit for average. Can hit for enough power. Not the biggest power hitter, but he can get enough. He can get enough out, and I think Michael Harris is really good talent. So that's my outfield in the National League.
So my outfield, we have one similarity, and that's Michael Harris, but I do not have Acuna in my outfield. Instead, I got Fernando Tatis Jr. and Brian Reynolds. There's my other Pirate.
Wow.
That's the guy. I'm high on the Pirates, if you can't tell already. This is my team this year, besides the Red Sox. But also Fernando, he's Fernando. I just think he's a great player. He hits a lot of home runs. He's very quick. He plays okay defense in the outfield. Acuna, I thought about him, as I should. But I just don't think it's going to happen again. He's going to be on the All-Star team. I think Fernando's going to beat him out, and other guys like Brian Reynolds.
Okay, so for all of y'all who didn't listen to the episode of our predictions entering the year, go check it out if you haven't already after you've listened to this episode. Like Brendan said, the Pirates are Brendan's team. He picked them to win the division, so you can definitely see the little bit of bias leaking in there. But you got to be aggressive where you have to. So I respect the backing of the Pirates, and when you mentioned Tatis, Clayton McGlover out in right field, which is an amazing turnaround for Tatis. That's a really good pick as well. And then Brian Reynolds is a solid player, so I could see that argument too. I didn't think Mike Harris was the one guy we were going to match up on, and I thought it was going to be Acuna, but that's the fun part about this. It's different lists and different eyes. So DH, it's pretty self-explanatory. Shohei Ohtani exists, and he's the DH in the National League this year. That is going to gatekeep that position pretty much. Ohtani's not going to be pitching, which is sad, but Ohtani DH is still an amazing player, and it's Shohei. So all of the baseball fans out there pretty much know that Shohei's the best talent in the game, hands down.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for all the DHs in the National League. They were thriving. For like a couple years when they finally got in the game, because they knew that Shohei was in the AL. But now they're kind of in a rough spot because Shohei's now with them, and they're not going to beat him out. He showed Ohtani, best player in baseball. He's the guy, and there's no one else to think about. If you put any other name, I know it's just a guess, but you're wrong. It doesn't matter. You're wrong if you didn't put Shohei Ohtani. So, what else there to say?
Yeah, it's basically he's Shohei Ohtani. For my starting pitcher, I went with kind of a bold one. Kind of more of a dark horse though. I went Freddie Peralta of the Milwaukee Brewers. He was one of my X factors last year, but I think Freddie Peralta is a great pitcher. He's finally got the keys to be the number one of that rotation. They used to have Burns. They used to have Brandon Woodruff. Or they still do have Woodruff. But Freddie Peralta, the Brewers are a bit of a pitching lab, so I think Freddie Peralta could have a breakout type season and start the All-Star game for the National League.
I went with Logan Webb, the San Francisco Giants. I think this guy's unreal. He's just getting better every year. He's still young. And he's gonna have a breakthrough season this year. He's gonna get that spot. I think it's kind of open right now. There's National League pitchers. They kind of go year from year, and I think this guy, he just knock it down this year.
Did we do? Did we forget American League starter?
I think we might have, yeah.
I think we skipped over that. So we'll loop back to that real quick. For my AL starter, I went with Corbin Burnes of the Baltimore Orioles. I'm just drunk on Kool-Aid, man. I mean, Corbin Burnes was awesome on opening day. He is phenomenal. I'm so grateful that he is a Baltimore Oriole, and Garrett Cole's out for a little bit, so there's definitely a chance for a pitcher to take over, and Corbin Burnes is that type of guy, so he's my American League starter.
Yeah, that's how I went with 2. With Garrett Cole gone, it's kind of just him. We know he's so good, and now he's going to terrorize the Red Sox.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. But Corbin Burnes is amazing. Did you know that he's an Oriole, by the way?
Yeah, no, I didn't actually, because you didn't mention it enough times.
Yeah, Corbin Burnes is an Oriole, folks. But that'll do it. Those are our starting lineups right now for the All-Star game.
Should we make an All-Star
let's
game
see.
MVP prediction?
Okay. We'll do an All-Star game MVP prediction. I'll go Gunnar. I'll be bold. I'll go Gunnar Henderson. I think Gunnar Henderson can put on a show, especially with if he gets an opportunity to field the ball at shortstop. He's got a rocket of an arm. So not only could he show his smooth left-handed swing, he could also pop one from shortstop. So I'll go with Gunnar. I'll go with a bold prediction.
Is it is it bold or is it biased? It's a good question, but I'm not really want to talk because I'm gonna go with Mookie Betts, my guy, MVP of both the All-Star game and the regular season. I mean, he's the guy. Yeah, Mookie Betts. What does he do?
Yeah, both shortstops. So you think the NL is going to win the All-Star game?
I do believe so, unfortunately.
That would be unfortunate because, as we all know, American League's better on this podcast because we're both American League fans when the All-Star game rolls around. In terms of matches, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we had nine matches.
That's more than I expected.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
20.
So 20. So 9 for 20 on the matches.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are no-brainers.
It's right about. Yeah, there were a couple no-brainers, but that's about half. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that'll do it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, those lists could definitely change throughout the course of the season. We'll see how well those predictions stand for the All-Star game. At the end of the day, it's essentially a first half race. If you can perform well in the first half of the year, you might get an All-Star nod. So as long as those guys can keep it up for a half the season, at the very least, obviously you would prefer for them to maintain a good season throughout the whole season. But we've seen in the past that all it takes is a good first half to make your way onto the roster. But those are our All-Star lineup predictions as of right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Everything you need is in the description, social media, and merchandise. And with that, we'll see you next time.